Hey everybody, and welcome to the Garage Gym Experiment podcast. My name is Adam, that's Jake, and we are back again for another episode. We have Home GymCon election results. Yes, we're getting political. Not really. We just want to see where our home gym community stands on the election, which is actually happening as we speak. 5-post power rack, Steadfast, and spotter arm follow-ups. I'm excited for the Steadfast follow-up, Jake. I have not sneak peeked, so yeah, I'm looking forward to that one. Home GymCon update. Then we'll get into some new products from Get RXd and Force 6 Fitness. We have some survey results, including a guest post from Flex Marks the Spot. And that's what we have for tonight's episode. So, Jake, election results this early in the night?
All right. So, yeah, we're not gonna do a deep dive, but I was just curious. About 8 hours ago, we're doing this about at 8 o'clock at night. Put in the story, who are you voting for? And I kind of had a inkling as to who people were going to vote for, but it's pretty dominant with 68% voting Trump, 19% voting Harris, and 13% respectfully not answering. So, as someone who has posted just memes with presidential figures and lost hundreds of followers, I know that, it's not fun to
That's what people came for.
Feel free to chime in on the comments, but we're not going to get too political here. But yeah, any thoughts, Adam?
No, I like the election-themed survey result for the episode. I do teach younger kids in elementary school, and it is funny because they will start arguing whatever their parents tell them at home. So they start screaming back and forth at each other. So the analogy I use is I say it's like picking between pizza and hamburgers, guys. It's just two choices, okay? You like one or you don't like the other. But yeah, it's fun.
Yeah, super fun. I did get a few hateful messages.
How dare you ask that question?
Yeah.
What is wrong with you?
I was just curious. I just responded. I was like, I just responded. I was just curious.
Yeah.
They're kind of cool with that.
Listen, if you got upset for someone asking, just so that we could get a poll of where people are voting, I don't know what to tell you. Let's go back to the days where you could have two differing political opinions and still lift weights and drink caffeine together. I don't know. What a goofy time to be alive. Yeah, that's my take.
It was the ones you could tell it was the ones who voted for the one who didn't get as many votes. So I think that had played into it. But
so as they saw the poll, yeah, gotcha.
Yeah. All right. Anyways, let's move on to.
Here's a quick tour of the belt squat. The main platform is a bench prop with spotter decks. You can see that there's a center upright attached with Stray Dog Strength 20-inch cross members. Moving up the upright, you can get to see the top pulley. This is a surplus strength UPS. It's oriented in the opposite way that you usually use it for things like lat pull downs, but this gives it a more vertical pull where it attaches to the Buffalo Bully Fab Bully Glider. This is the trolley system that moves up and down the rack with the plates loaded on it. You can see the extension kit. That's really useful because it lets you more easily slide a hitch pin in and out to set the starting position of the trolley. This lets you start at the top of the belt squat rather than the bottom. Here's the low pulley attached with a bolt through the upright. Moving back around to the platform, you can see the main center pulley is the same aluminum pulley from Amazon attached to a Rogue shackle.
So that is a follow-up to last week. If you listened, one of my product suggestions was basically a 5-post power rack that went right down the back of the power rack, right in the middle, so that you could add additional attachments. Joey Echeverry responded and said he had done something similar, and I asked him to send a video or some pictures, and he sent this video. So this isn't exactly what I was thinking, but it's a cool use of a 5th post that's right in the middle of a power rack that you can add a number of attachments. Right here, he had the Bully Glider connected to the surplus strength UPS. So thank you for the follow-up, Adam. Any thoughts on this?
Yeah, if you're only listening, you need to watch the video, because what Joey essentially did is he made like it's not DIY, because he like sourced pieces from all these different equipment companies, but he made a Rhino. That was awesome and very intricate. Like, it wasn't simply made, but it looks simple. But as he's going through each part, I was like, oh, and then he's got to turn that. So yeah, that was great. You have to watch it, I think, to get the full feel of it. So
yeah, really cool. But for anybody who couldn't really picture what I was saying with the 5th post power rack, this is kind of it. Okay, Adam, you mentioned Steadfast follow-up. So last week we discussed how Steadfast took a bunch of pre-orders, took a bunch of money, and then for one reason or another left and didn't fulfill the orders. And they came back a year or two later. Adam and I didn't really have all the information, and we kind of left it as like, hopefully there's more stuff that is out there that we just don't know, and didn't really get any like positive feedback. It was people in the comments saying like, how dare they come back after defrauding all those people. A few who listed their difficulties with them in the past. One saying that they were actually one of the customers that never received the product that they purchased. So I think the biggest issue, after going back and looking at a few things, it seems like he went away, came back on the Discord, and was just kind of like about ready to take orders, acting like not necessarily acting like not much ever happened, but not resolving the issues before going forward with the rest of his business. So just a quick follow-up there. It doesn't seem like anything good. There could have been some really good reasons for him to like go out of business for a little bit, but the fact that he didn't solve the people's problems that he kind of left hanging before just like starting to sell stuff off again seems to be an issue.
yeah, it was one of those where I was kind of hoping there would be some explanations to make you go, oh, okay, that makes sense. And I feel like the story just got a little muddier and a little worse, like the more I heard. But again, hopefully there's more to it than just straight up fraud. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay.
And then one more follow-up from last week. So another one of my product suggestions or ideas, just to kind of inspire the people making them, were spotter arms that could be used inside and outside of the rack. And got a few comments saying Bremmy Strong is actually already on a project. So here's him testing his spotter arms.
All right, I'm super nervous, but we're gonna go ahead and test the spotter arms. I got 500 pounds loaded on here. It's a decent amount of distance to the spotter arms, so I think this is a pretty solid test. We'll see how it goes.
How did your thing go? How did it go?
My heart or this? It went all right. I mean, it went good. They're still fully intact. They work, but I need a new heart. All right, so we are done with the drop test. Everything went well. Got some nice little divots in here, but everything else is intact. There's a little bit of drywall where that was from the light falling down. Everything is still good to go. It still lines back up, still level.
All right, so Bremmy Strong spotter arms to be used inside of a rack. I think he said these are 9 inches to go inside of a 30-inch rack. I mentioned on the podcast last week that it would be cool to have something for my 41-inch rack, and I was inside my rack this week and I was looking, I was like, that's way too long. So I don't think that's possible, but cool to see that Bremmy Strong is already on this.
Yeah, is he a newer guy? Bremmy Strong, this is the first time I've heard of him.
No, I think he's been around since like COVID and also does like custom work.
Oh, sweet. Cool. I have to
Yeah,
give
he
him a
makes
follow.
some cool stuff.
Great.
Next up, quick little Home Gym Con update. We have not got any new vendors over the last couple weeks, I don't think, but wanted to give a quick look as to the growth so far for Home Gym Con since 2023. If you're watching this, we have 3 pictures side to side. We have year 1 on the left, year 2 in the middle, and year 3. But you can see a drastic change in the floor map from year 1 to year 3. So year 3 is actually like 7.6 times larger than year 1. But, just wanted to do a quick update there. I put this together real quick and thought it was cool.
It's crazy. I can look at the map of year 1 and remember what it looked like walking around. Year 2 obviously was huge. And then year 3 getting it even bigger. It's awesome.
All right, so quick little update there. Let's move on to some new products. So we've been pretty impressed with RXd releases over the past few months. They, this product isn't anything we haven't ever seen, but it comes at a pretty good price, and I think they did a good job with this. So RX lat pull down / low rows. So there are 2 options. One is plate loaded and one is selectorized. The pre-order prices start at $629 for plate loaded and $989 for the selectorized. The shipping is not included in that, and there's only a 200-pound weight stack, which might do the job for a fair amount of people, but not everybody. So a few things there. You can add a 100-pound weight stack option for, I think, $179 right now. So you can get up to 300 pounds, not too much more. It does include aluminum pulleys, a 1-to-1 ratio. It's 88 inches tall, includes a basic lat bar, and then also a mag pen. So fair amount of stuff for the price. The shipping is not included, as I mentioned. So that'll be at least a few $100s extra, but still in general pretty well priced. And I think this is also a good option if you need some other items from GetRx, so you can kind of save on the shipping if you're buying multiple. All right, next up, an ISO handle / ISO grip from Force 6 Fitness. So Force 6 Fitness is kind of best known right now for making a lot of, duplicate products from other companies. For example, he has a similar product to Darko Anchor, but, I do want to give him some props. So looks like the last few releases are pretty unique, have a pretty cool spin on things, and I think this is an example of this. So it's an ISO handle / ISO grip with a 360 degree swivel handle for a natural range of motion. So it's supposed to be used for single arm cable exercises. Includes a black arced billet aluminum base designed to rest comfortably against your palm, and then also a medium knurl. So this does look like a pretty cool option for like single arm movements from a pulley system. So you can see 360 degree rotation, contoured ergonomic base. It looks like it has a decent knurl. It looks best for that real rear delt movement right there, and also the curls. I don't think there's anything else like this out there, but I might be missing something. But cool option from Force 6. Cool option from Force 6. Looking forward to seeing if he can come out with some other innovative stuff. He is also a home Gym Con vendor, so looking forward to see what he comes out in the next 7 months or so.
Sweet.
All right. As Adam mentioned at the beginning of the podcast, we have a guest survey from Flexmarks The Spot. So he put in his story, should I get the Aries 2.0 limited edition or the RX3 Tornado Smith rack from Get RXd? And the results were pretty surprising, at least from my end. So 66% went with the option from Get RXd, and then 34% went with the Aries 2.0. So the differentiator here is, there's a few differentiators, but the Aries has like a lat pull down / low row, whereas in addition to the functional trainer in the front, Get RX has the Smith machine and then also those tornado arms. So no lat pull down / low row, but also quite a bit going on there as well. Which one would you go with, Adam?
Oh, yeah. I mean, probably the Aries, honestly. But the Get RX Tornado Smith, I really like that just because I think I would use a Smith machine a lot. It'd really take the place of like, wanting some like, missing machines, having something on a plane where, you just get to push. So I think having a Smith machine would be really cool. But I mean, honestly, I'd go with the Aries. You?
So I think the big question for me is, with the Aries 2.0, you know what you're going to get. There's people that have them, whereas with the Get RX option, I think most people still want to make sure like it's legit and the reviews are out. But honestly, as like a rack, I think just because I know I like having a standalone lat pull down / low row, I think the Get RX setup makes more sense for me. I would probably rather go with the Athena route versus the Aries to begin with, because space isn't as big of a concern for me. But so I think in my current setup, if I had to replace something, I'd probably go with the RX3.
What would that replace? Would that replace if it were coming in, would it replace the G6?
Well, I'm not really thinking about it like that. I'm more thinking like I'd rather keep my standalone functional trainer. I wouldn't replace it with the G15. I like the G15.
Yeah.
I
wouldn't replace it either. I'm just saying, like, in this world, if that were coming in, you would want a standalone.
I think if I'm
rack
starting, if I'm starting over, I think I'd probably go with the Get RX option. If I wanted that as a rack.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's no lifting inside of it, though. That's where I'm like, and I don't really mind. I do a lot of lifts outside my rack as is, but I don't know. I do like to be inside it.
I really like having a Smith machine.
I think I would too.
So I think that's what puts it. And I'm sure Rep will have a Smith machine option sometime soon. But
I bet you for sure by the time Home Gym Con comes. For sure.
Yeah, I think so. All right. More data. So we'll run through the rest of this. We asked level of interest in November deals this month. Decent interest. So 38% said high interest, 36% medium, only 24% low, and only 2.5% neutral. When asked, are you more interested in new product releases or sales? 69% said they're more interested in sales versus only 31% in new product releases. 69% think they will buy something for their home gym before the end of the year. This one's kind of an awkward one, but we put Gluck and Garage Gym Reviews up against each other. Which one would you choose? About 72% went with Garage Gym Reviews versus 28% Gluck.
It's good motivation, man.
60. It is. Yeah, it is good motivation.
Those are two great reviewers. So, yeah.
And Garage Gym Reviews is probably like, 28% went with Gluck over us.
Will this be our Rep versus Rogue question via 3-4 years ago, where there's a commanding lead and it starts to 50-50? Who knows?
The question is, who should be added to this list?
That is a good question. Yeah.
Yeah.
Comment down below.
All right. So second year in a row, we've asked, true or false, does rep make the best benches for home gyms? 64% said yes. That is down 6% from last year, but still pretty dominant. I think they have a really solid reputation going back for the last 5-6 years as just having a really solid line of quality benches for people within multiple different budgets.
Look at that colorway that you have on the screen. That's insane.
And
looking.
they look good. Their benches look really good. They're getting better looking. I think that's important. We also asked for the second straight year, does Rogue make the best barbells? 68% believe that Rogue makes the best barbells. Less than like a 0.001% change from last year. It was nearly identical to last year. I think, again, similar to Rep, Rogue just has that really dominant barbell reputation, wide variety, priced fairly, made in America. They've got a lot going for them. Tough to beat Rogue in the barbell category.
Hey, Jake, I was thinking about this, and since you're bringing up a barbell thing, the barbell collectors, right? The people who buy like every new power bar that's out there.
Yep.
Would you consider yourself a barbell collector? I know you get a lot of barbells and you keep a lot of barbells, but like, I was thinking about, when it comes to like having a power bar, I don't think I would want more than one. I don't think I want a choice. I think I want the power bar that I can just grab and like put into play. People talk about having like their daily drivers. I might want like, a multi-purpose bar, a deadlift bar, but like as far as like my power bar that I'm going to bench, squat, and deadlift, do my movements with, like I think I would only want one. I don't want a decision to be made every time I get a bar out. Your take?
Yeah, my take is I'm not a barbell collector anymore. So it was just too much of a nuisance to have not only just choosing a barbell each workout, having all of them around. Like it takes a lot of wall storage. They're just not fun to move around in tight spaces. So I think the less you can have to get the job done, the better. And I'm kind of glad you brought that up, because on my questions to ask list is, are you more interested in collecting barbells or collecting cable attachments? Because I'm way more interested in collecting cable attachments, and I'm curious to hear what other people think as well.
That's a fun choice to make,
So that is on my to ask list. We'll probably talk about that. We'll have to talk about that next week now. Deal. Good.
Should we share our cable attachments? I don't have a ton. We should share what we have.
Did we do a Mount Rushmore of cable attachments?
I don't think so.
No, I didn't. We'll have to do that next week too.
Okay.
So,
but okay. I have some questions on that. Like, would I have to have used them before? There's some out there that I'm like, I'd like to have that.
Oh, we can do a ones we've used and then like a wish list.
Yeah, I was on JD Gym Equip like 2 hours ago, and I was looking at $300 lat pull down bars, and I was like, that would be sweet.
Yeah.
Can't stomach it right now, but one day.
Anyway,
okay. For a different time.
We asked, do you ruck? So 26% said yes, 26% said no but interested, and then 48% said no, not interested. And then here's a good one.
Hey, well, hold on. You missed a great dad joke. I'm sorry. 48% said I don't give a ruck. Okay, keep going.
All right. On to the good question. Who will be the biggest challenger to Rogue and Rep in 5 years in terms of home gym strength equipment? So we did this twice because I got a couple people said this company should be there. We said Titan, Bells of Steel, Fringe Sport, or Body Solid. So in this first one, Titan was the easy winner with actually 45% of the votes. Bells of Steel actually, Bells of Steel was relatively close with 34% of the votes. Fringe had 18% of the votes. And then Body Solid had 2% of the votes. You got a few people who said you should put Get RXd in there. So we did it again. And Titan actually, I don't know if it was like people saw the results and decided, oh, maybe it is Titan. But Titan's votes rose to about 54%. Bells of Steel dropped 25%. Get RXd only had about 11%. But they did beat out Fringe, who had 10%. Who would you have voted for, Adam?
The first one, I was thinking in my head, I was like, I would have picked Get RX. Why is that not in there? So then when you put the second one up, I was like, oh, cool. Yeah, I would say Get RX. They're making the type of equipment that interests me the most. I would argue they're making the type of equipment that interests like general home gym people. But I have loved, I like what all these companies do. Titan seems to be taking like a new direction. Like they do those limited barbell releases, like very unique bars where they only have so many. I think that's really cool. Bells is doing cool stuff. I really like Fringe too. But I'm gonna go with my initial thought just because that's what popped into my head first. Get RX'd. What about you?
Got it. I think I'd go with Fringe Sport for this list just because I think Peter Keller's gonna go on a roll. And then, but my number one answer is actually ATX.
Oh, that's
so
not
I think,
fair.
I know.
That's a fantastic choice. Oh, can I change mine?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah,
ATX.
I think if ATX is here next year, gives them about 4 years, I think there's a shot.
Oh yeah, their equipment is so different, and yeah, it's good. It's good. Did you hook up the thing yet? Is your machine set up yet?
It's not set up.
All right, moving on. For those just listening, Jake has the lat pull down low row. Kyle let him borrow it while he's fixing up his new gym. Jake hadn't set it up yet. Bummer.
It's because I don't have the manual.
I know. I'd be calling Kyle. Be like, hey man, get over here. Yeah, put this thing together.
Kyle can't find the manual.
Well, he's a DIY
I was
guy.
just over at Kyle's house.
He can figure it out.
He's going to come over and help, I think.
That's what he's got to do. Yes.
Yes. So
that's in like
actually
3 weeks, when you see Jake looking like he's got bat wings on him, he's just been doing lap pull downs in his garage. Oh boy. Well, it's a bummer. Some people have unfollowed because you asked who they're voting for. But for those who listened, thanks for sticking around. Oh, Jake, I did want to talk to you about the bench that I got my parents. So it was the Major Fitness bench. I don't have the actual name for you right now, but bought it because of the price. It was Prime Day, and I think we got it for like $260. And then got it in. It looked like your typical ladder style. And I said, this might be a good choice. Without giving you a full review right now, I don't think that's going to be a good choice. It's like a micro version of like your regular adjustable bench. I feel oversized on it. It's very light, and not in a good way, like easy to move around light, but like not a lot of metal there, not a lot of thick metal there. So, I'm going over for Thanksgiving. I'll get like 3 good days of lifting on it. And I'll be able to share out more. But if people listen to me before and are like, oh, he said this looks like a good bench, I did want to share, like, I'm not saying don't buy it, but I'm saying it's not what I was initially thinking it was going to be. So mine might change when I, lift with it a little more, but that's where I stand. First reaction, putting it together, doing one quick
That's a
bench
bummer.
on it. Yeah.
I mean, it looked like, based off the pictures, it looked like a really solid bench. I'd be curious, like, have you gone back to the specs and been like, oh,
no.
Yeah.
When I actually like give it like a write-up review and I'm looking at them, I'm like, I should have seen this coming. Who knows?
Yeah.
We'll see.
Interesting.
I felt big on that bench, and you don't want to feel like you're, Brian Shaw on like a regular bench when you're just a normal dude, so yeah. Anyway.
No.
All right. All right, well, that's going to do it for us. Did you like tonight's episode? Well, then be sure to keep your eye out for new episode releases wherever you listen to podcasts, and be sure to follow Knurled News. Not subscribed yet? What are you doing? Check out the link below. Sign up for more home gym content. All right, Jake. Anything else left for the listeners?
Nope.
All right, guys, we'll catch you next time. Thanks for listening, and goodbye.